Hello and welcome once again to Serendipity. I'm Mrs. Wheelis and our program today is about tigers. The title is Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright, and that comes from a poem by William Blake. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye dared frame thy fearful symmetry? Now today I have three different things for you. One is a nonfiction book about tigers and a fiction book about tigers called The Tale of the Raggedy Slippers. And last, a folk song about a folk story about tigers. We'll begin then with the nonfiction, and that means this is a book about true facts. We have so many books about animals. In the nonfiction section, here's this first picture of a cat. Look at him licking his lips. Now this would be a Siberian tiger. You see the snow on the ground. The Siberian tigers live in Siberia in northern Russia. And they can stand the cold weather. They get to be sometimes 650 pounds. That is a big tiger. Now here is another beautiful tiger. They're beautiful and dangerous. I hope we don't ever see one like that up close. I don't think we ever will. I love these pages because they show that a tiger is a cat. I had a cat who used to roll over on his back like that. And of course, all cats wash themselves. They lick their paws and then they wash themselves. I just never really realized that tigers do the same thing. And tigers have these long teeth called fangs, which cats do also. So a tiger is a cat. Now this would be a Bengal tiger living in India. There are different kinds of tigers, obviously. And this is a very rare white Siberian tiger. The white ones, there are not very many white ones anymore. When we look at these tigers, look how big this tiger is. So you can probably guess that a tiger that big is most likely, since there's snow on the ground, a Siberian tiger. This one, I believe, would come from warmer climates, such as Thailand, Cambodia, and other nearby countries, and that's where it's warm. They're smaller. They only get to be about 250 pounds. Now, tiger country, as I was saying, the Siberian tigers are very used to the cold weather. They can handle it. And the tigers who live in warm areas, I never thought about this either, but if they get really hot, they just go get in the water and cool off, like we do when we go to a swimming pool. This is a map that shows the countries where you can find tigers. Up here is Siberia in northern Russia. That's where the Siberian tigers come from. Down here we have the Sumatran tigers in Sumatra, part of Indonesia. Then this would be the Indochina's tigers in these countries, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. Over here we would have the South China tiger. I didn't mean to miss that one. And lastly we have the Bengal tiger. The Bengal tiger is right in here. So that's where they live. Now, tigers will fight to protect their territory. This is something I didn't know. I learned. It's interesting. Lions live with families. They live in a group, a pride. But male tigers don't. They live on their own. And they mark their territory. Here is a tiger marking his territory by scratching on a tree. And they have other ways that they mark their territory also. And if another tiger enters their territory, they fight to get rid of them. And they will roar very loudly to warn other tigers to stay out. This is my territory. Now this is a tiger cub. They're very, very cute. Another tiger cub. Here's some tiger cubs playing and following their mother. The mother takes care of them for a long time until they're grown and ready to take care of themselves. Here is a cub. Isn't he cute? Staying very close to mom. And this is kind of hard to see what this is, but these are two tiger cubs that are wrestling. And they do that a lot when they're young, and that's like practicing for fighting later on. And in the last picture, here's the Siberian tiger, so beautiful. And here are three beautiful tiger cubs. And when we look at these beautiful pictures, it makes us realize we want to take good care of tigers in our world. We want to be sure no one hunts them anymore. There are laws against that. And we want to be sure they have a good, proper habitat to live in. And that is the story of tigers. So now we'll go to our first fiction story, The Tale of the Tiger Slippers by Jan Brett, one of our favorite illustrators. She took an old folk tale and then rewrote it to make this beautiful book. I live in a big house, he says. My father built it, and I love to bound around the garden. My friends are always curious about something. They say to me, in this beautiful garden, why are there raggedy slippers up there in that fancy box? This is the story my father tells them to explain about the raggedy slippers. He said, when I was a cub, I lived with my mother under the roots of a banyan tree. We were very poor, and I helped as best I could. My mother saw how sharp thorns and stones were hurting my footpads when I walked, so she made me beautiful, thick slippers to protect my feet. These slippers will protect and guide you, she said, and there is room to grow. I was looking down at my new slippers when I saw a streak of white in the stream bank. It was silky clay that could be molded into shapes. Look at this. So I made bricks out of this silky white clay and built my mother a beautiful house. Years went by and other people would say, could you build me a house? I built many beautiful houses. On my wedding day, there was going to be a great feast. I was so happy and so excited, but a crocodile came up out of the water and said, wait, you're not going to wear those raggedy old slippers at your wedding, are you? I looked down at the slippers and thought, he's right. These are raggedy and old. And I slipped them off and let them float away downstream. Faster and faster, my slippers sailed in the current. Down and down they went. They reached the village dam and stopped it up. The waters rose, flooding the banks until an elephant saw what the problem was. He used his trunk to move the slippers out of the dam so that the water was no longer stopped up. And he recognized they were my slippers, said the father, and brought them back to me. A few months later, the tiger and tigress settled in our home when word came that the Rhino King was coming to visit and wanted to stay at our house. We quickly began to tidy everything up so that he could stay in the finest rooms in our beautiful home. But a stork saw my slippers still on my feet and said, "Surely you're not going to wear those raggedy old slippers in front of the Rhino King? He might be insulted." And so I said, "You are right," and I threw the slippers over the wall. Now, when the last goat in a herd of goats felt a thump, the slippers landed on him and started him running, and that started all the goats running and scattered, barging into houses, knocking over watermelon carts. The furious goat herd came to me and asked for money for his damages. In time, we celebrated the birth of our first cub. What a happy day. Animals came from far and wide with best wishes for our new arrival. The mongoose wished him playfulness. The peacock wished for beauty, the rhino for strength, and the elephant for wisdom. The monkey said, "I wish that the cub's father would not wear those raggedy old slippers anymore." The monkey had a good point. So this time I sent the slippers airmail to my uncle, who lived in a distant village. When my uncle saw the slippers, tears came to his eyes. He remembered these were the lovely slippers his sister had made for her son. He packed a few things and set off to visit. When Uncle Ali came in, he was carrying a gift. It was my slippers in a beautiful box. He said to me, "You should always keep them so that you will remember that your mother made them for you, and you will remember how far you have come wearing these slippers all these years." The next morning I was in the garden with my son, and I told him what Uncle Ali had said. And I said to him, "What should I do? What should I do with these old slippers?" My cub had the answer. "Why not build the slippers a special house of their own?" he said. "They can be seen and remembered for their place in your life, and you can wear magnificent new ones." So I did. From that day forward, I was proud to show off the old slippers in a special, beautiful spot in my garden, and kept them forever. And here is a picture of the father with his cub son. And if you'll look at the father's feet, he's wearing beautiful new slippers. And that is the story of the tale of the tiger slippers. All right, you can check this book out, either of these books out at the library whenever you want to. They are good stories. We're going to sing a song now. I'll play my guitar. Some of you may know this song, and if you do, I hope you will sing along with me. And for those of you who don't know the song, how about if I teach you the chorus a little bit, and you at home try to sing along? If your mom is with you, she might know the song. This is the chorus. Oh, weem away, oh, weem away, oh, weem away, oh, weem away, weem away, oh, weem away, oh, weem away, oh, weem away, weem away, oh, weem away, oh, weem is Awimaway. Would you try to say that with me? Awimaway, Awimaway. Same thing over and over again. And this is the tune. Try it with me. You'll catch on soon. Awimaway, 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 Awimaway. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Help me. Awimaway, 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 Awimaway. In the village, the quiet village, the lion sleeps tonight. In the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. Awimaway, 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 Awimaway. Thank you for helping me on the chorus. And all right, now we are ready for the next story, which is The Wise Deer and the Cowardly Tiger. Cowardly tiger, that sounds surprising. Once a mother deer was out with her fawns. She was watching them play. She loved to see them run along on the grass and followed them, just letting them explore. And everything was fine until her cubs, which were a bit ahead of her. She saw her cubs go into a tiger's cave. Of course, they were just little fawns. They didn't know it was a tiger's cave, but Mother did. So she went into the cave and she explained to them what the problem was. But before she could get them to leave, the tiger came home. Now the mother saw the tiger coming, and she quickly thought, and she yelled out in a loud, loud voice, "Oh, children, look! Here comes a tiger. He looks delicious. You are going to have some wonderful dinner tonight." Well, when the tiger heard this, he was terrified. Some monster had taken over his cave and was planning to eat him for dinner. And so the tiger ran away as fast as he could go. Now the jackal saw the tiger running, and he came up to him and said, "You seem to be afraid, and that's unusual for a tiger. Are you afraid of something?" And the tiger said, "Oh yes, some monster has taken over my cave and is planning to eat me for dinner, and that is why I ran away as fast as I could." Now the jackal knew that the tiger was a coward. So he said to him, "This doesn't seem very believable to me. Why don't we go back and check out your cave once more and be sure you're right, because it doesn't sound believable." "No, no," said the tiger. "I won't go back, because when you hear the great monster yelling, you'll be afraid and you'll run away and leave me there all by myself." "No, I won't," said the jackal. "And to make you feel better, I will tie our two tails together in a tight knot, and that way I cannot run away without you." "All right," said the tiger. And so the two of them carefully and slowly went back to the cave. Now the mother deer was keeping a lookout, you can imagine. And she yelled again in that big scary voice, "Oh, look, children! The tiger has brought a jackal along. Now we'll have 2 great beasts for your delicious dinner." Well, both animals were terrified. They began to run away as fast as they could, but they couldn't run very well because their tails were tied together. One kept falling and the other would fall, and then they would get up and run away faster again, and at last they just collapsed on the ground. Eventually, the jackal untied the sharp knot in their tails, and they were free from each other. And while they were gone, the mother deer took her fawns safely home. And that is the story of the wise deer and the cowardly tiger. This song is called "The Tiger's Loose," and it was written by Kim Mitzo Thompson. It has a cool chorus, and I want to teach it to you. This is how it goes. Get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger, he's so mad, you'll be his supper. Let's go over the words. It's just get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger. You're going to say that, sing that 3 times. And then the last line is, he's so mad, you'll be his supper. Now let's try those words with this tune. See if you can sing with me. It makes it more fun. Get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger, he's so mad, you'll be his supper. Good. I'm going to start with the first verse. I went to see the tiger's cage, heard his roaring, saw his rage. In his cage he ran around, making that great roaring sound. So get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, you better leave that tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger, he's so mad, you'll be his supper. As I watched, to my dismay, that big tiger got away. Through his cage he slipped on by, leapt through the air with one great stride. Get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, you better leave the tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger, he's so mad, you'll be his supper. Through the town the cat did run, scaring folks and having fun. But the cat was never found, I guess he likes just roaming around. Get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger, get out the way, leave that tiger, he's so mad, you'll be his supper. Great, thank you for singing with me. Now the last thing I have for you today is a craft. And you may know that I like to make different kinds of animals out of toilet paper rolls. I always try to give you a project that you can do at home with things you probably have in the house. And I know you have toilet paper rolls. So this is the way I made a tiger. I covered the toilet paper roll with orange construction paper. If you don't have any orange construction paper, take a piece of white computer paper and just color it orange. Then you wrap it around the toilet paper roll, and then you've got to make his face. Give him his eyes and a little triangle for his nose, then down and a little smile, and then whiskers. And let's give him a little hair on top, and then a lot of stripes on either side. And then you can make him a tail. They have long tails, and they're also striped. So there is your tiger made of a toilet paper roll. I hope that one day I'll have a whole list of these, because now I have a yellow dog And now I have an orange tiger. So more will be coming. Thank you so much for listening today. Please tune in next week when we will have family radio time. And there will be an interview with Robin Hood. See you then. Bye.